Hello, Jerry.
Oh, hello, Christian. How you doing?
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm very fucking beautiful.
We are here on Facebook Live, and we're gonna have a really good episode. Finally, we're
Memorial Day weekend episode.
Yeah, episode 6. It's gonna be awesome as usual, Jerry. We have our little shenanigans during the episode. Of course, the comment Jerry made to me 2 seconds before he went recording and go, "I think we're the only podcast that doesn't research what we're talking about." And I go, "Jerry, I'm the one that does all the research," and you just like comment, subscribe,
and what a balancing act we are in that case.
But no, I guide you. It's good. You have your opinions too, which I think is really cool.
I don't have opinions about you.
Bitch. No. So, the last episode of the Collective Podcast, I did a little rant on Mr. James Cameron. And
it was thought-provoking.
I got a lot of feedback. One funny thing is I hope he's watching on Facebook Live because I told him to. And I was just talking to him on the way here to record this. And it was Larry. And Larry was telling me he listened to it and he thought it was okay. And, you know, it wasn't... He thought my comments were a little pretentious, but it's fine.
So he was the fact checker to see how things went throughout the episode.
He also commented about how I got the story wrong about you winning Mario Party.
Are you trying to say that's some fake news, Christian?
No. Like, you did win, and the story is factually correct. It's just the way that you got to that point was kind of off a little bit.
Right.
So, I mean, it happens. It happens. But a little update from the James Cameron-esque stuff that's going on is Avengers is at $1.9 billion.
Ooh.
They're almost at the $2 billion mark, which I'm really excited about. Which you can say is my last comments about it. Then I'll move on about the whole James Cameron thing. Is that don't speak ill of something because then it's going to come back and haunt you.
Of course.
It's going to get to the point where it's going to hit $2 billion. It's almost a guarantee at this point. So you're now forced to share the $2 billion club with an Avengers movie. So don't do interviews saying you hope that these movies fail or you hope fans get Avengers fatigue.
I hope he's hungry because he's got to eat his own words.
Yeah, because, you know, that's what happens. Don't speak ill, and there you go.
And be chill.
James Cameron, you now have a superhero movie in your illustrious club. You have a Star Wars movie that's in your illustrious club. And speaking of Star Wars, we are going to talk about Han Solo. I saw it yesterday on the in the movie theater. And we're going to get to that when we get to that. So, people that are on Facebook Live, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Jerry, you have an event on Friday.
Yes, I do. So we have an event for Sing Till Sunrise for Sunrise Day Camp of Staten Island. It is my Sing Till Sunrise award ceremony based off of my past 3 events. So we got some beautiful awards along the way. We got the most likely to butcher Billy Joel. We got the most likely to be a semi-professional singer. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually going to name one winner right off the bat. And I hope he listens because I'm sure he's going to yell at me afterwards for saying it. And that guy is Vincent Marola.
Oh, I thought you were going to say someone else.
Are you trying to say it's rigged over here, Christian?
No, I thought you were going to say...
Because it is, actually. I hope you know that.
We should have a timer as to see how long it takes for us to mention Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he does that to me.
But we just mentioned him.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's like the cardinal rule of Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club.
Absolutely. But just a couple more things wrapping off of that. So we have cornhole and 15% proceeds from our food orders going back to Sunrise Day Camp. Then 9 o'clock karaoke starts. We're going to give out 7 awards. It will be at Joe Broadway South on Highland Boulevard for Friday, June 1st. And it helps give summer back to children with cancer for over 100 families this summer.
Sweet. So, guys, do you listen on the Facebook Live? Come to the event. It's going to be a great opportunity to raise money for kids that don't have a chance to go to summer camp. Yeah. So, upcoming guests, Jerry. So we're going to have some upcoming guests soon, hopefully.
In 2025,
Oh, yeah,
Joe Valenti will be on our podcast. We are foreseeing the future right here. This is going to be a 7-year plan in the works, and I'm glad and honored to be giving you all of this content before then, because then we're never going to do a podcast again.
Oh my god. But we're going to have... we're going to try to get Chris Marcianti back on for a little trivia. And then we'll have him back on in October for the Halloween movie release, which trailer should be dropping soon, in a couple of weeks, hopefully. That's what I've been hearing from Blumhouse. We're going to try to get our friend Craig on, the comedian.
Yes,
get his last name.
that man.
Name. Craig.
Bald man, sexy beard.
Oh, yeah.
Craig Lloydron.
He was in Fuzz on the Lens' Abnormal Attraction movie, which I think is pretty cool. And, speaking of... Guess who's on Facebook Live watching
Who is
us?
doing that?
It's Joe Valenti.
Oh my God, Joe! What's
goodness.
he saying? What's the Joe man saying over there? I can't see it.
He's just saying hi. He's just saying hi. Oh, well. Guys, the illustrious Joe Valenti is watching. How are you, Joe? Don't text me because I can't look at the text and have Facebook Live on.
But I can.
Yeah. Just text Jerry and annoy him.
I answer fan questions over here.
We're going to have my good friend who I went to film school with, Titus. He does Masterclass. He's his Masterclass Productions, which is his production company. He does a lot of writing. He sells a lot of scripts and stuff. So we're going to get him on, talk to him about a couple of things, what his projects are doing. So there we go. We're going to get that. I'm going to try to get V Infuso on, Social Injustice Warrior.
We got goals here.
Talk about his stuff. So yeah, that's going to be in the next couple of weeks, around about the summer, as well as our normal podcasting. Maybe we'll do another Tales of Filmmakers. We'll do Mind Vision. But for that, yeah. So now let's get to the topics.
Oh, the first topic.
Oh, Lord. So if you guys enjoyed Christian Caputo's rant on James Cameron, you're going to love my upcoming rant. So for those of you that don't know, last week dropped the Thundercats trailer for the new cartoon that's coming out. First of all, before I get into my rant, Jerry, do you know what Thundercats are?
Of course I do. I've only watched it once in my life.
Did you watch it as a kid?
Absolutely.
All right, there you go.
You paid me to.
Oh, there you go. So, my little Thundercats rant. They released a trailer for it, and it looks ridiculously stupid. It's got this little...
That means I would like it then.
It's like chibi... chibi characters. They're like tiny, and it looks very ADA-ish, ADHD-ish, as in like very like stuff thrown at you.
Just
no
non-stop.
No substance. I don't think there's going to be a story to it. It's just going to be like day to day, like monster.
All impulse.
Yeah, and that's the problem with a lot of cartoons today, I feel, is that it's all thrown at you and there's no like long form storytelling. And
that's what I was exactly about to say.
And the thing is that I don't think these people realize that you can hold a kid's attention. You can have them watch, like Star Wars Rebels had a long form storytelling for 4 seasons for something that they knew. It was Star Wars. And you could do that. Nowadays you have like, I don't watch these shows, but it's like Steven Universe, Adventure Time. They're all very like in your face, like you're on acid or something like that.
They are a perfect description of ADHD in terms of like the impulsiveness, the lack of character development for them. I feel like there's less resonation for how kids can connect to a character and really like be aspired to kind of like formulate that.
Yeah. So like Thundercats is from the 80s. Of course, decade I love, of course. I love everything 80s.
You lived through it, right?
Oh, no. I wish I lived through it. I wish I lived through it, because most of the music I love, and just the genre of stuff, the movies and cartoons and stuff. So, like, the cartoons you and me grew up with were mostly 80s. So, like, Voltron had long-form storytelling between 2 or 3 seasons.
I actually like Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers.
Like the shitty green screen one.
Oh, yeah.
In the 90s. That was actually really good. I loved it.
Oh, Beast Wars.
Yes, Beast Wars. There you go.
Johnny Quest was from the 60s, but they had a reboot in the 70s. But if you want to use a long-form storytelling, like The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest from the 90s was long-form storytelling. Sailor Moon was long-form storytelling.
I think I watched that.
Oh, Sailor Moon. I always have a joke about Sailor Moon. It was like, you watched it as a kid, but you never understood why.
Yeah.
You liked it. Because it was a cartoon for girls, but a lot of like boys watched it, and you never understood why.
So that was gentrification before gentrification.
No, it's like you never understood why they liked Sailor Moon, but
Why do you think most guys like the Backstreet Boys?
Dragon
and
Ball.
overglorify the shit out of it.
Dragon Ball, long form storytelling from seven seasons. We're getting comments from the Facebook
audience
Live. So is it from the Book of Rage? That's from Johnny Quest, from Larry. So like examples of cartoons that kind of need reboots that I would love to see reboots for. Power Rangers got a reboot, but I'm going to be in the minority here. For those of you that have seen Beetleborgs, I like Beetleborgs. I think they could do with a reboot.
Gotcha.
Mighty Max, I think, should be updated.
Oh, little Mighty Max.
Little Mighty Max, yeah. Voltron also had a reboot update on Netflix, which I thought was pretty good. It was like an updated reboot. Speaking of reboots...
I watch it in my sleep.
Speaking of reboots, the TV show Reboot. I don't know if you remember that show. Reboot?
No.
Okay, so it was a show.
I'm a very interesting guy to talk to about this stuff.
It was a show.
Put that camera closer, by the way.
Put the camera closer to who? To me or to you?
Both of us. We're beautiful people together.
There you go. Hold on.
Oh, come on. Look at this sexy.
Go get Jerry. I'm gonna try to get both of us in there.
We have goals right here.
I can't get both of us in. But yeah. So Reboot was a CG TV show based out of Canada, which we got to watch. It was like 3 or 4 seasons, had like 2 or 3 movies, TV movies and stuff. They just rebooted it, and it's a bunch of garbage.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so like those are some things that I think that you can reboot for a modern and keep it a long form storytelling. But I was going to loop around back to Thundercats. They had a good reboot a couple years ago called Thundercats Ho! And, yeah, it only lasted 12 episodes. It lasted 12
What was
episodes.
it, like TV 14 or something?
No. Yeah, whoring, yeah. It got canceled after like 13 episodes. Or whatever, something like that. But it was good. It had good CG. I had good animation and stuff. But no, you have to make it everything ADHD and stuff. Speaking of ADHD, I lost my train of thought.
There you go. So you're an after effect of all the programming.
Yeah. Speaking of comedy and stuff, what did you? I know you saw Deadpool too. What did you think of it?
It was a beautiful and sexy movie. I got to give Ryan Reynolds his props over there. Did a very good job on the story. I felt like the story had a better emphasis this time around. The humor on the first one was definitely a little bit better, but I felt like to follow the superhero narrative and just to have a more encapturing type of like moment between all of those things, they did a very good job on it.
Any particular moments that stand out to you, or?
Yo, that little kid is a fucking badass. Oh my god. I would so pussy out if I ever had to like confront him for anything.
Oh, good lord.
If I was his parent or something, I'd be like, okay, you can tell me what to do. Bow down, son.
Joe Valenti in the chat room. See it, damn it. Nah, it's alright. I'll wait till it comes out.
Ooh. Why is my promotion not compelling enough for you?
No, I love Deadpool. I love the first one, but it's just, it didn't grasp me the second one. I wasn't going to be like, oh, I gotta run out and see it.
Didn't grab you by the beard on that one.
Didn't grab me by the beard on that one, yeah. But a movie I did see over the weekend was Han Solo. I saw the Solo movie. Which,
was it cute?
It was good. I thought it was a very, very, very good movie. Like, of course, like, the reviews are saying it didn't bring anything new to the table, which I can agree with. Okay, yeah, it didn't bring anything new to the table. But I thought Alden Ehrenreich? Aldrin Emmerich? I butcher people's names. Did a fantastic job as Han Solo. Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, did a spot on...
I was going to ask, he was in that, right?
Yeah, he did a spot on Lando.
He surprises you as an actor.
He did a spot-on impersonation of Billy D. Williams. That was like ridiculous. Like I would buy Colt 45 from him.
This is America.
Colt 45. Oh yeah, I'm gonna drink some Colt 45. But no, he did a spot-on job. I thought it was very good. I believed it. I sat there. I watched the movie, and I believed it. I believed he was Han Solo. I believed that was a young Han Solo. He did a really good. He didn't imitate Harrison Ford, but you can tell there's that little Harrison in there.
Right.
And you could tell, like, yeah, I could see him turning into the Harrison Ford Han Solo. So yeah, so there's that. I'm a little disappointed that the box office isn't doing that good because I feel like.
How much did it do so far?
I don't
like
know the
50 million?
Yeah, it's not doing that good. It's like the lowest grossing Memorial Day weekend.
Really?
Yeah, for Star Wars. It's not. It's gonna make back its budget, but I don't think it's.
It's gonna be a star boy.
Yeah, it has to do. I think it has to do with the management that's backstage at Lucasfilms, especially Kathleen Kennedy. I feel like she's really dropping the ball with a lot of things. That's a whole podcast.
Right.
I'll definitely get.
I don't even know that name.
Jerry Solo was a movie, not the new Childish Gambino song. Oh, Joe Vlante's telling you that Solo was a movie, not the new Childish Gambino song? Okay.
Oh, because I said that this is America reference?
Yeah, this is America, yeah. Speaking of Star Wars, they're making a Boba Fett movie, Jerry.
Ooh.
Do you know who Boba Fett is?
Don't know much about Boba Fett,
Okay.
but I know he's a very nice person.
Oh, okay.
Love him.
Very nice, very nice person. very, very nice person. So, The Hollywood Reporter has learned that Walt Disney and Lucasfilms are enlisting Academy Award director James Mangold to write and direct their long-rumored Boba Fett movie. James Mangold did Logan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did Logan.
Surprisingly, out of all the movies, I've seen that one.
Yeah. So third plot.
Very good movie, by the way.
Well, I didn't see it. Just
Logan.
Because I didn't see it. I don't like depressing movies. No, but I've heard it's really good. Further plot details are being kept under lock and key now, but it will presumably follow the feared bounty hunter in his younger days, long before he encountered Han Solo and fell into the pit of Carcoon. That's from Return of the Jedi. Studios are simultaneously developing films. Number of them, including Lando Calrissian and Obi-Wan, who are heavily rumored to be in production in spring. And we're also getting Star Wars Episode 9 next year. So Star Wars is keep going, whether or not it makes money or not. They're going to keep going. You have anything there, Jerry?
I don't know how, but keep doing what you're doing, because I don't know how you can turn off so many people to, seeing, the range of it, because there are those anti-Star Wars people.
Oh, yeah.
And there's massive amounts of them, but the fact that it's still, could be so divisive, but at the same time get that fan base, that's what's very, interesting to me.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Speaking of studios that can't get their shit together,
collective podcasting.
Oh, yeah,
so we have a whole hour of discussions to go about that. Christian, you're a terrible housekeeper.
Oh, yeah. Well, just look at this house. It's a mess. No. So, speaking of the studios that can't get their shit together, Zack Snider was talking about there's going to be a original 5-part DCEU Epic that he was doing. That it was described as epic, grand, emotional, joyful, and unforgettable. And I'm going to go through the article that had it real quick. I'm just going to read it out. We'll have our opinions on it. Zack Snyder's time in the DCEU ended as a trilogy with Justice League, but the original plan, before everyone freaked out over Batman vs. Superman, was to tell a 5-part story that included Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League 1 and 2, and a 5th and final mystery movie were all part of Zack Snyder's original vision, according to DC Films storyboard artist Jay Olivia. Last week, a fan asked Olivia to elaborate, and he says, I cannot go into the specifics, but it was going to be grand, emotional, joyful, and unforgettable. It was going to round about Superman's story arc, and Snyder said himself, even revealed recently, he put a Justice League 2 Easter egg in Batman vs. Superman. Unfortunately, that's never going to plan out, which I'm assuming the Easter egg is that flashback scene with Flash. Probably Superman was going to go bad. I'm not sure. We'll never know it. But here's a question for you, Jerry.
What's the question?
Do you think that studios should plan out sequels for certain franchises. Like Marvel. Marvel did this 10-year plan that's culminating with Avengers that came out last month. And
Strong no.
No, they shouldn't. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why, because one, it's always nice to have a plan, but life never goes as planned. Yeah. Secondly, it's always better to do sequels when it's 2 to 3 years out, because then the urge of people trying to request it becomes more popular. I feel like with these movies, they try to do something every single year.
So you don't feel like you should capitalize on the hype behind it? So let's just say you have a movie that came out. I'll use Paranormal Activity as an example. So Paranormal Activity came out in 2009, and it got really big reviews, and it made a shit ton of money. And then they pumped out a movie for the next 5 years, 6 years after that. Saw is another franchise like that. Do you feel like maybe when a movie comes out, you should capitalize on it?
But look at the routine with those sequels, because the more they try to populate those sequels, even with that demand, saturation becomes a thing. When you follow your own terms and follow your own sense of conscience and stuff like that, people will be more attractive to it because you're not seeking out their type of thing. It's weird, but it works though.
So you feel like there would be a less return on investment than anything when it comes to like sequels and stuff if you pump them out quickly?
Yes, because you're not giving people enough time to digest what they've seen for them to go back and rewatch it. That's just my honest opinion.
No, it's subjective, because you can say like, yeah, let's pump out a movie every year. We're just going to make millions of dollars, but at the same time, you can risk creative mind because you're rushing it out.
Right.
A perfect example for me is, of course, we're never going to get past the podcast without me mentioning Halloween.
We got to do like a drinking game out of that.
Yeah.
Christian, keep drinking water.
We'll get the Joe Volanti counter, because he likes to when we're all together, he secretly goes on his phone and like does like the timer to see how long it takes for me to talk about.
It's one of the most savage and most creative things he does.
My record is, Joe, if you're still watching, give me the counter on the last time. I think it was 49 minutes or something like that it took me. But Halloween 4 and 5, they pumped it out within 9 months of each other, and
that's way too
suffered,
much.
And you can tell from Halloween 5 it suffered like a lot. But yeah, so it's subjective with that. You can either pump it out, hopefully it'll get a big return on investment. You're suffering creative, or wait.
I know you had a schedule, but being that we're on the movie debates, and I feel like I could actually attribute to the conversation and be an asshole to you at the same time.
Oh, go ahead.
So, the best, worst movie.
Yes.
What's yours?
We were going to talk about this, but you want to jump it off.
I want to jump it up now. Thrive off in the moment, obviously.
The Room, Jerry.
Welcome to Mooseport. Welcome to Mooseport. 2004, the greatest year of my life for the worst things that have ever happened. So, that movie is one of them.
So it's the movie that killed Gene Hackman's career?
It's done more than that.
Oh, God. We'll get into the Ray Romano conspiracy theories of yours for the next episode. Those of you that don't know, Jerry has a weird conspiracy theory about it's not a conspiracy theory. We call it a conspiracy theory, but it's a funny, like, what's the word I'm looking for, Jerry? Like happenstance.
Entendre.
Yeah, entendre, where it's like Ray Romano has been a part of certain things that's like, and stuff has been killed. Right. I don't want to get into anything right now, but
Alex Jones might be watching.
Oh yeah. Another really bad movie that just popped up in my head is Mystery Science Theater 3000 did an episode.
Don't deviate from this shit. Come on.
No,
now.
I'm telling you, the Bride.
I'm joking.
Bride of the Monster, which is an Ed Wood movie, which is another terrible movie. Plan 9 from Outer Space, but no, The Room is the greatest movie ever, worst movie ever.
But you got to think about how awkward Ray Romano played his role for being the mayor. I feel like now this is what makes it so relatable and terrible at the same time. Because look, we are in the state of politics. You feel like anybody and everybody is going to take a shot in doing politics. I feel like Welcome to Mooseport is so innovative that it started that trend.
So the chat in the chat room on Facebook Live, we have Larry saying, "Everybody loves Raymond except for Jerry." That was my best Brad Garrett impersonation. Everybody loves Raymond.
Everybody loves Raymond. Except for...
I'm running for the mayor of Mooseport. Ah!
That level of charisma. I just felt like Orson Welles directed it.
Orson Welles, yeah. What are you trying to say something, Jerry, about Orson Welles?
That he's a nice guy.
That we won an award, Orson Welles award. You also, Jerry, you and me have to sit down. We have to watch Welcome to Mooseport again.
I'll Netflix and chill with you on that anytime.
Oh, good lord! This is going to be a good. This is going to be a good stinger for the beginning of the podcast. I can tell you that. I'm putting this in the beginning, before the podcast starts. This is funny. So, getting on from that, and we'll probably circle back to this anyway.
You still lost.
Yeah. So, Jerry, you know what Sonic the Hedgehog is, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Can you imagine if I just looked at you and smiled and like, yeah, no.
Would you buy Sonic the Hedgehog shoes for $150?
$500.
Oh, God. No, Converse is selling Sonic the Hedgehog shoes for $150. It's Sonic the Hedgehog, it's Dr. Robotnik, and I think it's Knuckles or Tails they're selling shoes for.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not a shoe guy. I don't like shoes. I wear those slip-on shoes without
I
the
wonder
laces.
what the design looks like, because I didn't hear about them.
Yeah, Fabian, our friend Fabian shared it on Facebook, so you can probably just go on his Facebook and look.
Oh, for him, I thought he would definitely buy them.
Oh, yeah.
For his moment.
Me.
Shout out to Fabian, he's a nice man.
Shout out to Fabian. He and I have this little rivalry going on about Sonic the Hedgehog, is to see who's the better Sonic Hedgehog player. So far, I beat him in Sonic 2. He'll probably destroy me in Sonic Mania, which I'm gonna do a little shameless plug first. Collective Gaming. We tried shooting an episode yesterday, but unfortunately, circumstances are my co-host, whose wife is deeply pregnant at this point, should be delivering any day. And I bet you at this point,
it's gonna be an amazing moment.
By the time the podcast drops, on the download in 2 weeks, she'll probably would have given birth already. But he has those responsibilities, and we're talking about whether I should host it for the first couple of episodes and stuff. But shout out to Jimmy.
Of course,
we're thinking about
doing
you.
Everything he's got to do, and commend him
just
so
take
much.
your time. We
look out for
excited.
you, Jimmy.
We're excited that you're having a kid, and hopefully he's watching. But so Collective Gaming is coming. It's just gotta wait a little bit. I did do a test run on Legend of Zelda, which of course it's Legend of Zelda. Speaking of stuff that I'm obsessive compulsive about, Universal Studios is rumored to be creating a Star Trek land in response to Disney's Star Wars.
And only you would care about it.
And only I would care about it. Of course, I went to the Star Trek experience. I'm gonna really embarrass myself right now.
Now,
guys.
how much would you pay for a one-trip ticket just to stay there and never come back?
I have no clue.
5,000?
Maybe. But I saw I went to the Star Trek experience in Vegas when I was 14. It would have been 2005. It was like February 05. So I was 14. I didn't turn 15 yet. And I went, and I'm going to embarrass myself right now, but we did the original. There were 2 rides that you could go on. Plus, you could go to Quark's bar from Deep Space Nine and drink at the bar, whatever we eat in Deep Space Nine. But they had 2 rides. They had the Klingon ride and the Borg drone ride, and of course we have lost everybody at this point as I start spewing my Star Trek, my Trekkie knowledge. We did the Star Trek one. We did the Klingon one, and I'm just gonna walk you through real quick. You're standing in a room. Everyone's like, "Okay, everybody, we're gonna bring you on the road," and blah blah blah. And the lights start to flicker, and you get transported onto the Enterprise. Everybody's dressed up like Next Generation and everything, and you see me. I'm like, "Oh my God!" We walk through this door, and we're on the bridge of the Enterprise. I'm trying to keep my composure at this point because I'm literally like, I'm almost tearing up.
I need to be a fly on the wall
I'm literally
to see your reactions.
I'm literally almost tearing up. I'm like, I'm on the bridge of the Enterprise. I'm on the bridge of the Enterprise. I had dreams as a kid of, being on the bridge of the Enterprise, and to sit there and to see it. It was just amazing. And we ran on the shuttlecraft. We were being attacked by Klingons. We did the Borg one, which the Borg one is my favorite Star Trek villain of all time. I want to get assimilated.
Oh,
but,
man.
But you know, you can't grab people out of the audience and stuff. But yeah, and then we went to Crux Bar, where if everyone who's watching knows my dad, a Klingon walked up to my dad, asked him if he was ancestor of Captain Picard, because he's bald. My dad's bald.
Oh, God.
And my dad went face to face with a Borg drone.
I gotta see this.
We don't have the pictures of it. I don't know where it is, but just picture. You know my dad. Picture my dad with his big ass muscles staring at a Borg drone, face to face.
He would have roasted him enough to put him on Caputo in the kitchen.
It was the most hilarious thing ever. But as I'm reading the article for the Universal Studios, you don't need to put your phasers set to stun, because according to this new report, rumors surrounding the Universal Studios is considering a full-on Star Trek park in its resort in Walt Disney World. According to a new post, Disney and More, the long-running site claims that they've heard rumors that bolstering the creation of a Star Trek park. The site's anonymous sources, the Terminator 2 3D ride is at Universal Studios is looking to house either a Star Trek or Bourne Identity attraction. The particular rumor has been floating around the internet for some time, but the newest chatter suggests that Universal is developing an entire Star Trek land that can compete with Disney's Star Wars land. The new rumor ties into
mesmerized.
Recent report yet announced Studio Park that the Florida residents bought a large land. So what I would like to see, Jerry, at Star Trek Land is I would love to see you go through like Starfleet Academy training for like a day.
Please, Chris. You know what, Chris? I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Well, let me get on record right now.
Okay.
Wait, when is this happening, by the way?
I don't know.
The Academy.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're going to do a GoFundMe right now. If you can come up with $5,000 by the end of this episode, I will put myself in the Star Trek Academy.
Oh, my God. There goes all my credibility right now. No, but what I'd like to see, and
that increases my credibility.
I'd like to see you go to the holodeck, maybe go to 10 Forward, Deep Space Nine, the bridge of the Enterprise, take a picture on the bridge. Stuff like that I would love to see. Borg. Just show me the Borg and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Please. But yeah. Those are all the topics for the nerdy comic book section. We're going to take a break.
5 hours later.
We're going to take a break. We're not going to take a break on live, but we're going to cut at this point for our sponsors. Everybody knows who the sponsor is, but I got to run it because they don't pay me, but they like it when I run the.
Of course.
Thing. So we'll be back with our sponsors here on the Collective Podcast. Episode of Collective Podcasting is sponsored by Da Piera. They're on 1970 Victory Boulevard. You like Italian cooking?
Absolutely.
Well, this is authentic Southern Italian cooking. They have a chef directly from Italy, which is in the city. Great Italian food. They have pizza. They have sandwiches. Real authentic Italian food. Ate there last week. Really great. I suggest everybody go and tell them the Caputo Collective sent you. Having some serious technical difficulties. I don't know what is going on here, but Joe Valenti donated $5,000. So now we're up to $15,000.
Yes, exactly. So it's $15,000.
So Jerry,
I think I'm gonna drop out.
So Jerry, once again, $17 billion. What would you do with it?
Now, what's 17 times 3? Because more importantly,
I can't do it off the top of my head. But Jerry, we found a shipwreck. Robot submarine finds a shipwreck carrying $17 billion in treasure.
That's insane.
Yeah, what's your opinion on that? What do you think they'll use it for? They'll probably waste it on something.
They'll use it for the next Avengers movie.
Oh yeah. James Cameron.
Just on the budget.
James Cameron will use it for his next Avatar movie. So nobody will be able to catch him. But But
his ego will never be bruised.
Oh yeah, his ego will never be bruised. Speaking of bruising, wow, that's a terrible segue. So there's a video game out.
Third time's the charm.
There's a VR game out that simulates a school shooting, and I think that's very.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's sparking a lot of outrage.
What's the name of the game?
I don't know. The article doesn't say, but what it is someone found this game. It's a virtual reality game where you can shoot people in a school. I don't know if it's a level to a game, but I gotta tell you that's very.
There's definitely malicious intent behind that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's very. It's
malicious and symbolic at the same time.
Yeah, because I find it very distasteful, especially with what's going on now. Why would you develop a game that was like that?
I would drink to that.
Yeah, well, they're trying to get the game pulled. I think people are suing at this point, or they're doing something. I can't pull up the article because it'll cause Pro Tools to crash. I don't know why. So we're just gonna go off the cuff, and I'm just gonna try to get through the rest of this. Speaking of schools, a student puts the school that they go to up for sale on Craigslist as a senior prank. Now, Jerry, did they
do like an exchange with a video game or something?
I have no clue, but Jerry, did you went to Moore, right?
Yeah.
What high school pranks did you do?
So we had somebody who was willing to get himself tied to the back of of the parking gate where our school was, so no cars were able to park between 6 and 8 in the morning that day.
Oh my God.
And then on top of that, we had a barbecue. We had a full-out barbecue in the parking lot, outside the gate or whatever. People were drinking, all underage, 16, 17-year-old kids.
The prank we wanted to do, but we didn't know how we were going to do it, was we were going to try to park a car in the cafeteria.
I was going to say gym.
No, in the cafeteria. But the way it was, there was no ramp to get into the cafeteria, so there would be no way to put the car in it. It's the only one I think off the top of my head. Oh, the typical hang the underwear from the
of course
from the flag. I mean, that's just generic stuff. But but the school now is suspended the kid. They're making it out like it's terroristic threats. So I'm like, everything's a terroristic threat at this point.
A terroristic threat?
I don't know, Jerry.
How much was the school? Because if he's undervaluing it, then he should be suspended. He's not doing good in economics.
It's a public school, so I mean that doesn't.
Oh, okay. So we have to get it funded by tax dollars then.
Of course. Getting funded by tax. Yeah, we're gonna pay your tax dollars to.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah. So, our last topic of the day. Oh no, not yet. No, I got one more after this. So Jerry, you're happy living down here, right? And you're not. But so Jerry, does your basement count as your parents' basement?
It's kind of like the basement extracted from the basement. It's weird. It's still attached to the house, of course, but it's not really in the basement per se. It's my own side apartment, so I guess it makes it a little bit of a step up. And plus, I have my own privacy, which is a million times better.
Yeah, this is the Playboy basement. No,
exactly.
So
I got my bunny right here. Talking.
You won't. So your parents will never kick you out, right?
No.
So yeah.
Unless I pay them to.
So there's an article popped up. A 30-year-old man gets kicked out of his house. A 30-year-old man is ordered to vacate parents' home after refusing to leave for months.
Oh my God.
So a 30-year-old man was outraged Tuesday when a judge
I know where my future's going.
Oh yeah, where a judge ordered him to vacate the premises. A judge ordered him to vacate his parents' home. The order came after a months-long effort by the couple to get him to leave their house. I'm not going to say the guy's name. Appeared in court for 30 minutes Tuesday after his parents filed a petition in the Supreme Court of New York State claiming they had enough of their son living under the roof because he's a bum. That's what they said. He's a bum.
I can only imagine the courtroom argument.
The state Supreme Court justice praised the son for doing his legal research and citing a common law requirement that required family members to give a 6-month notice before eviction. However, the guy called it simple internet search and was a 6-month demand was outrageous. Michael, in turn, called the eviction order outrageous. He continued to slam the judge's order outside the courtroom. The eviction drama began February 2nd when parents left their first note saying he had 2 weeks to leave. The note says, after decision with your mother, we have decided you must leave the house immediately. You have 14 days to vacate. You will not be allowed to return. We will take whatever actions necessary to enforce this decision. Any action you take will be construed as threatening or harassing. Will prevent us to our ability to use the house or property. Michael had 30 days to vacate. His reminder from the couple's lawyer. The mother warned law enforcement.
Did he give any reasoning?
They just said like he's on and off again working. He just doesn't do anything. He's got a kid or something like that. He claims he runs his own business, but nobody knows what the business is. Couple decided to add an incentive with a third letter that said they'll give him $1,100 if he leaves to start looking for a place to live. Jerry, would you sue your parents?
Oh man,
Yeah.
I hope that would never have to happen for anything.
The couple initially went to town court in April to evict their son, but was told they could only remove a family member from their home through an ejectment proceeding. Yeah, so this is just...
It's just mind-boggling.
Oh my God, Jerry.
Like, it's just, what a weird, awkward, like, way to be in life where you can't even trust, like, whether you're the parents or the child in that case. Well, I mean the adult, but still, though. Like, both ends, it's never a win-win situation. And I feel bad for families that have to go through that.
I feel bad.
Where there's, like, a level of trust that can't meet in the middle. Like, they can't understand each other, so it's a shame when I hear stories like that.
There's another article that claims that the man was in a custody battle with his son, that led to the strain in the relationship. So they're not really telling you everything that's going on here, but it's a pretty sad story, I think. So moving on to like...
I just got a text that my parents are gonna...
So Pro Tools cropped out again. What else is new? So we'll get through this last topic, which is New York City joins banning of plastic straws.
Like, how many regulations are we gonna have now?
Like, we don't have enough issues.
Come
here.
on.
Bloomberg with the soda.
But like
Blasio with you're allowed to pee in public.
Heroin in like state spaces, pretty much.
I don't know, Jerry. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna call it here. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go to Roll and Roaster.
Oh, we need a nice cherry soda at Roll and Roaster.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna drink from our plastic straws.
Yes.
In defiance of the man.
And with our pinkies up.
So I want to thank everybody for watching on Facebook Live. Our cheap plugs before the Pro Tools crops out again. Leave a review and reply on Apple Podcast. Give us 5 stars. Donate to the Sunrise event.
Yes.
On Jerry's Facebook at Gerard Uselli. And here we go. I'm going to try to fix the Pro Tools problem. Sorry, this is a choppy episode. Thank you for watching on Facebook Live. We'll be
Thank you, peoples. I'm glad we still have 5 very loyal fans.
We
we love you.
Especially
Especially Larry.